Your life can shift in profound ways the moment you learn to take command over 4 vital elements: your speech, your emotional state, your financial habits, and your mental focus. These 4 form the pillars upon which your destiny is built. The words you choose can either strengthen or weaken every relationship in your life. Your emotions can serve as a compass toward wisdom, or they can lead you into storms you never intended to face. Your relationship with money can either grant you freedom or bind you in invisible chains. And the mind, the silent architect within, can lift you toward greatness, or quietly dismantle your peace from the inside. To master these 4 areas is not to suppress your nature. It is to direct your energy with intention so that your days are not dictated by impulse, but shaped by vision. This is the art of moving from being a prisoner of reaction to becoming the architect of your own reality. Greatness is rarely born in noise or chaos. It is cultivated in the quiet discipline of watching your mouth, steadying your mood, managing your resources, and sharpening your mind. Consider the example of Albert Einstein, a man who changed our understanding of the universe, yet spoke with humility. He proved that words can enlighten rather than wound. Think of Marie Curie, who endured repeated setbacks, but maintained emotional composure, allowing her discoveries to change the course of science. Reflect on Nikola Tesla, who meticulously allocated his limited finances to keep his innovations alive. And remember Stephen Hawking, whose physical limitations never stopped his mind from soaring with clarity and precision. When you learn to speak with care, to manage your emotional currents, to treat resources as seeds rather than coins, and to guide your mind instead of letting it drift, you hold the same inner force that drove these visionaries to turn their dreams into tangible reality. 1. Your words shape your world. An ancient truth whispers through time. Life and death are held in the tongue. Words are not empty air. They are seeds. Each one carries within it the potential to grow into a sheltering tree of hope or into weeds of destruction. Einstein was not only the master of equations, but also a master of simplicity. His words translated complexity into clarity, not to display his intelligence, but to illuminate truth for others. When your intention in speaking is to make understanding possible, you step into the role of a builder rather than a destroyer. We often underestimate how a single sentence, spoken in sincerity, can alter the course of a life. A child may hold on to the words, "I believe in you," for decades. A struggling worker may rise to excellence because someone once told them, "You have what it takes." Yet the reverse is also true. A careless insult can crush potential before it has the chance to breathe. Why do words carry such weight? Because they bypass the surface and root themselves in the heart. Once planted, they grow according to their nature, nurturing or poisoning. That is why self-discipline in speech is not mere politeness. It is an act of responsibility. Every phrase you send into the world will return, multiplied in its essence. Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." This lesson extends beyond communication into humility. When your aim is to clarify instead of impress, you serve the listener rather than your ego. Before speaking, ask, will this build or break? Will this heal or harm? The wise speak not to be heard, but to make an impact. An impact often requires more listening than talking. Deep listening allows your words to carry the weight of understanding rather than the emptiness of noise. The greatest scientists did not only leave us with discoveries, they left language that inspired others to continue the search. Marie Curie's words, "One never notices what has been done. One can only see what remains to be done," live on because they contain truth that fuels action. Your words can live beyond your presence, but only if they are rooted in authenticity and service. Imagine them as stones thrown into a still lake. The ripples they create will spread. Will they disturb peace or expand it? You have the power to decide. When you choose words that embody wisdom, encouragement, and clarity, you are not just talking. you are creating. 2. Silence is often the sharpest form of speech. Silence is commonly misunderstood as weakness, yet it is often the highest expression of strength. Isaac Newton, among the brightest minds to walk the earth, spent years in quiet observation before presenting his theories. He knew that silence was not the absence of thought but the preparation for it. In stillness, ideas are not rushed, they are refined. Just as a seed must remain unseen beneath the soil before breaking into light, wisdom often needs the dark space of quiet to grow. Many speak to be noticed. The wise wait until their words carry value. Today, we live in a world where opinions are broadcast instantly, often without full understanding. Silence teaches restraint, the art of holding back until the right moment. When you hold your tongue, you open space for deeper observation. You notice details others miss. You hear truths buried beneath the noise. Newton did not argue to prove gravity. He let the falling apple speak for itself. Silence can accomplish what noise cannot, allows reality to stand without defense. In conflict, silence can shield you from words you would regret. Anger, like steam in a boiling pot, escapes violently if released too soon. Give it time to cool, and you can handle it with care. History remembers not the loudest voices, but the most precise. The pause between musical notes is what makes the melody beautiful. Likewise, the pause before speaking is what makes wisdom audible. Silence is not about avoiding truth, but about delivering it at the right time in the right way. Think of it like a bow drawn in stillness, not inactive, but gathering strength, so the arrow can fly with power and accuracy. The most respected leaders and thinkers choose their words as carefully as a surgeon chooses a scalpel. Knowing once released, they cannot be taken back. Let your silence sharpen your speech before it leaves your mouth. Reaction is instinct. Response is wisdom. The distance between the two is the space where your future is shaped. That small pause between what happens to you and what you choose to do next determines whether you create peace or chaos, progress or regret. Marie Curie spent countless hours in her laboratory, meeting failure after failure. Yet she did not react impulsively to each obstacle. She responded with patience, curiosity, and unwavering discipline. This is the art we must learn: to pause before acting, to breathe before deciding, to think before speaking. Reaction is like striking flint without aim. You may spark a flame, but it might also burn everything in reach. Response is choosing where and how to light that fire. When you react, you hand over control to the moment. When you respond, you take control. In physics, forces act and counteract, yet the outcome depends on precision, not impulse. Life mirrors this. Emotional forces, anger, fear, pride, excitement, are constantly pressing against you. If you allow them to move you without direction, you drift like a rudderless ship. But if you pause, even for a heartbeat, you give yourself the chance to steer. Responding does not mean suppressing emotions. It means guiding them. A river left wild may flood and destroy. A river guided by channels nourishes everything along its course. Your emotions are like that river energy, with tremendous potential. Left unchecked, they bring chaos. Directed wisely, they become your greatest ally. Imagine someone insults you. Reaction seeks immediate retaliation, but response asks, will this serve my peace or only my pride? Mastering this choice transforms your relationships, your work, and your inner stability. Over time, as you practice responding instead of reacting, you will find that challenges shrink, opportunities expand, and the grip of stress weakens. 4. Turn your mood into momentum. Your mood is like the wind, capable of carrying you forward, holding you back, or pushing you entirely off course. You cannot always control when the wind shifts, but you can control how you set your sails. Thomas Edison is not remembered for the thousands of failures he endured, but for how he turned them into progress. Had he allowed frustration to sink his mood, the light bulb might have remained only an idea. Instead, he used every failed attempt as fuel for persistence. Energy spent on complaining drains you. Energy channeled into action builds momentum. Too often, people wait for the right mood before they begin. That is like waiting for a perfect breeze to start sailing across the ocean. Momentum is often what creates the mood, not the other way around. Edison kept working, even in discouraging times, proving that action can shape emotion. Each step forward, no matter how small, sends a message to your mood. You are not in control, I am. Negative emotions can be transformed into productive energy. Anger can destroy or drive breakthroughs. Frustration can make you quit or push you to improve. The difference lies in direction. Edison didn't see failures as defeats, but as necessary steps toward success. The strongest momentum is not built in random bursts of energy, but through steady rhythms, like a pendulum marking time. Consistency outweighs intensity. Some days, you may move in leaps, other days in inches, but every day you move. And in time, your emotions will begin to follow your consistent action. When mood and momentum unite, you become a force that is almost impossible to stop. 5. Step back to see clearly. Clarity rarely comes in the heat of emotion. It arrives when you create distance between yourself and the moment. Stephen Hawking, despite the immense physical limitations he faced, mastered the ability to detach from immediate struggles and keep his gaze on the infinite questions of the universe. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop being consumed. When you are too close to a problem, emotions can distort your vision, like fog covering a mountaintop. Step back, and you begin to see the whole landscape. In science, distance is essential for observation. A biologist watches without interfering. An astronomer sees the stars more clearly from above the Earth's atmosphere. Life works the same way. The more distance you create from the heat of the moment, the more clearly you can see the truth. Ask yourself, what is really happening here? What am I missing? Often, the answer only appears when you remove yourself from the noise and look at the situation from a higher point of view. Detachment allows you to keep your balance whether you are winning or losing. Success without arrogance. Failure without hopelessness. Emotional balance is what keeps you steady through life's highs and lows. Hawking once said, "However difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at." This is the voice of detachment, not ignoring reality, but rising above it to see what is possible. When you step back, you stop reacting to every wave and begin navigating the entire ocean. 6. Master your emotions about money. Money is neutral, neither good nor bad. Its influence comes from the emotions you attach to it. Nikola Tesla was a man of unmatched vision, yet his financial life was often unstable because his relationship with money lacked structure. His story reminds us that brilliance without balance leads to frustration. The greatest danger with money is not losing it. It is letting emotions dictate how you use it. Fear can make you hoard. Impulse can make you waste. Greed can make you blind. Financial wisdom begins when emotions no longer control your decisions. If your spending and saving habits shift with your moods, you are building your financial future. On unstable ground, emotions crave instant gratification. Logic values long-term security. That is why you must pause before any major financial decision. The same principle we apply to responding instead of reacting also applies here. Sales, impulse buys, risky investments. These moments test your emotional control. Tesla's innovations changed the world, yet his lack of financial discipline kept many of his dreams from becoming reality. Imagine how much more he could have accomplished with both creativity and control. Money is like a river. Without banks, it floods and destroys. With structure, it nourishes and builds. Mastering financial emotions means refusing to spend for approval. refusing to invest out of fear, and refusing to let envy steer your choices. When you remove emotional turbulence from money, it becomes a tool for freedom instead of a source of stress. You stop chasing shiny distractions and start directing your resources toward your vision. And in doing so, you create a foundation where your wealth, whether small or great, grows in ways that serve your purpose instead of enslaving you. Every amount of money you release into the world is a vote for the future you are building. If your spending is ruled by impulse, you are voting for a future you have not designed. But if your spending is guided by purpose, each coin, each note, each transaction becomes part of a deliberate blueprint. Great missions, whether sending a spacecraft to Mars or developing a medical breakthrough, work under strict budgets where every resource is assigned a reason. No great mission leaves spending to chance. Your life is no different. If you wish to reach a destination of meaning, your financial map must be drawn with accuracy. Impulse spending tempts because it offers quick comfort, the momentary high of buying something that promises satisfaction now, yet costs you later. It is like sugar to the body, a short burst of pleasure followed by long-term harm. Nikola Tesla envisioned transmitting energy wirelessly across the globe, an idea decades ahead of his time. Yet, his inability to keep money directed toward his mission left the dream unfunded. Purposeful spending requires the discipline to say no, not to joy, but to distraction. It is the ability to invest in tools, experiences, and opportunities that advance your life rather than clutter it. Before spending, ask yourself, will this bring me closer to my vision or simply feed my mood? This is the same question researchers ask before funding experiments. If the allocation of resources does not lead to discovery, the mission slows or fails. In your life, the cost of waste is not only financial, it is the delay of your greatest goals. When you spend with purpose, every dollar becomes a step toward freedom. When you spend without thought, every dollar becomes a chain you must later break. Purposeful spending even carries joy, because it transforms money from a tool of consumption into a tool of creation. The difference is this: buying what fades satisfies desire. Buying what lasts supports destiny. When you see money this way, every transaction becomes a conscious act of building. You stop living as a consumer and begin living as an architect. 8. Save like a scientist prepares for breakthrough. In science, no discovery of significance comes without preparation. Galileo did not gamble on a single experiment. He tested, recorded, refined, and tested again. Savings work the same way. They are preparation for the future. Savings are the safety net that lets you take risks without fear of ruin. Without savings, every step feels dangerous. With them, you move forward with confidence. Saving is not about hoarding. It is about having the resources to explore, to innovate, to respond to life's opportunities and emergencies. Like hours of unseen lab work, saving is rarely glamorous. It requires invisible discipline. There are no instant rewards. The benefits are delayed by design. Yet, the moment you face an unexpected challenge or a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, those years of quiet preparation reveal their worth. Every deposit is a trial run for the life you are building. And just as scientists build safety protocols before experiments, you must build financial safeguards for yourself. Illness, accidents, sudden changes in work, these events are storms. Without preparation, they can destroy the structure of your life. With preparation, they are storms you are equipped to face. Saving like a scientist also strengthens patience. It teaches you that true progress often moves slower than we wish, yet it is all the more powerful because it is steady. To save consistently is to tell yourself, I believe my future is worth investing in. In the same way researchers repeat experiments to prove their results, you must repeat the habit of saving until it becomes part of your nature. Because when the right opportunity comes, the one that could change everything, you will be ready. not because luck favored you, but because you prepared. 9. Invest in growth, not glitter. The true purpose of money is not to impress others, but to build the life you envision. Yet many exhaust their resources, chasing glitter, the latest gadgets, the car that turns heads, the clothes that momentarily boost their status. Glitter fades, growth compounds. History's innovators understood this truth. Ada Lovelace poured her resources into learning and mastering mathematics instead of luxuries that would have vanished in weeks. Elon Musk reinvested the profits from his first ventures into companies designed to shape the future, not into short-lived comforts. Growth is the planting of seeds that multiply over time. It might mean investing in education, in skills, in a business, or in partnerships aligned with your vision. Glitter promises a fleeting spark. Growth delivers lasting light. To invest in growth, you must develop vision, the ability to see years ahead and direct today's resources toward tomorrow's goals. Without vision, even great fortunes vanish. With vision, even small investments can transform lives. Resist the urge to compare your path with others who flaunt their glitter. Many decorate the exterior of a collapsing structure. Few strengthen their foundation. Your growth is that foundation. Like a tree, it may take years before the fruit appears, but when it does, it will feed more than yourself. Every skill you master, every idea you nurture, every wise investment you make shapes not just your resources, but your identity. You become a creator rather than a consumer. Glitter may attract attention for a moment, but growth creates a legacy. 10. Protect your mind from noise. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you allow inside will grow. If you let in weeds, they will multiply until the flowers are choked. Today, the greatest danger to the mind is not ignorance, but noise. Noise is everywhere, in constant notifications, endless streams of opinions, gossip, and drama. Just as light pollution hides the stars, mental noise blocks your clarity. History's most brilliant ideas were born in stillness, not in distraction. Protecting your mind means building a strong boundary against the unnecessary. Scientists position telescopes far from city lights to see the universe clearly. You must sometimes step away from the constant glow of the world's chatter to see your own truth. Tesla would often work in isolation for days so his ideas could mature without interference. Protecting the mind is not cutting yourself off from people, but from distractions that drain your focus. Without this, your attention is scattered into fragments, leaving little strength for what matters most. Noise often disguises itself as urgency. Every alert seems important. Every headline seems critical. But urgency is rarely the same as importance. If you allow noise to dictate your focus, you will live in reaction instead of creation. Guarding your mind also means protecting your peace. You cannot think clearly in a storm, whether that storm is outside you or inside you. That is why moments of meditation, reflection, and intentional silence are so vital. They clear the clouds so the sun can return. When you master this skill, you no longer chase every distraction. You become anchored in purpose. The noise of the world may rise around you, but your mind will remain a sanctuary, steady and unshakable. Your mind is a living system, constantly absorbing and transforming whatever you feed it. Just as the body cannot thrive on empty calories, the mind cannot thrive on empty information. Every book you open, every conversation you engage in, every piece of content you consume becomes part of the inner framework shaping your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. This is why great thinkers guard their intellectual diet with care. They do not leave it to chance. A mind nourished with truth, wisdom, and curiosity becomes stronger each day. A mind filled with gossip, negativity, and shallow distractions slowly withers. What you take in today will inevitably show itself in your decisions tomorrow. In science, researchers know that bad data leads to faulty conclusions, One corrupted piece of information can compromise an entire experiment. The mind works the same way. If the input is false or harmful, the output, your decisions and actions, will reflect that distortion. Marie Curie filled her mind with study, exploration, and discipline. She did not give space to the doubts of those who questioned her. Her results were not accidents. They were the natural product of what she chose to let into her thoughts. Every single day, feeding your mind well is not only about quality, but also variety. If you consume only one type of knowledge, your perspective becomes narrow. The greatest innovators make connections between different fields because they allow their minds to be cross-trained. Leonardo da Vinci studied anatomy, engineering, art, and nature, and his genius emerged not from one subject alone, but from weaving them together. And remember, feeding your mind is as much about avoiding what harms as it is about pursuing what helps. Junk information may feel stimulating in the moment, but over time it dulls the clarity of thought. Mindless scrolling, toxic debates, and sensational headlines may excite your emotions, but they do not build your intellect. Be intentional. Curate your mind's library. Fill it with ideas that inspire, guide, and strengthen you. In time, your thoughts will reflect the level of your input, and so will your life. 12. Train your mind daily. A strong mind is not a gift you are born with, it is a skill you develop. Just as muscles weaken without exercise, the mind loses sharpness without deliberate training. The great minds of history did not wait for inspiration. They cultivated discipline. Albert Einstein exercised his mind through problem-solving and imagination, translating abstract concepts into revolutionary theories. He famously said, "Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death." Mental training is not an occasional activity. It is a lifelong commitment. Training the mind begins with focus. In a world of constant distractions, focus is a form of power. Learning to return your attention to a single point, no matter how many things compete for it, builds mental strength. Meditation is one of the oldest tools for this. Even a few minutes of daily stillness can sharpen awareness and fortify resilience. Deep work periods of uninterrupted concentration is another powerful method. The scientists, artists, and philosophers who shaped history all understood the value of immersion. They knew that a scattered mind could never uncover deep truths. Deliberate learning is equally important. Choose a subject, skill, or challenge, and commit to practicing it daily. Each repetition strengthens your adaptability and problem-solving abilities. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new pathways through consistent effort. Marie Curie did not achieve her breakthroughs by accident. They were the result of thousands of hours of focus, study, and experimentation. The same principle applies to you. Your mind will evolve if you feed it challenges and push it beyond comfort. Reflection is also part of training. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I learn? Where did I fall short? How can I improve tomorrow? Without reflection, even intelligence can become stagnant. Leonardo da Vinci filled pages with sketches, notes, and questions not to pass the time, but to keep his mind in motion. Over time, daily training gives you an unshakable advantage. While others are thrown off course by difficulty, your mind remains steady. Like a martial artist who conditions the body for combat, you prepare your mind for life's challenges. This discipline not only supports success, it shapes who you are at the deepest level. 13. Align your speech, mood, resources, and thoughts. Imagine your life as a finely crafted instrument. To produce beautiful music, all its strings must be tuned. In life, those strings are your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. When even one is out of tune, the sound becomes discordant. But when all four are in harmony, you become like a master musician, each note precise, each movement effortless. In martial arts, we say that when the body, breath, and mind are aligned, power flows naturally. The same is true here. Your mouth is the channel through which your inner state becomes visible. Careless words can create years of damage, while thoughtful words can open doors you never imagined. Your mood is the current that fuels or hinders those words. If your emotions are turbulent, your speech will be too. If they are steady, your words will carry weight. Money is not merely currency. It is stored energy, representing the value you have created and the possibilities you can pursue. And your mind is the command center, directing all the others. When these four forces work in harmony, your life flows with clarity and momentum. It is like the rare alignment of planets, where gravitational forces amplify each other. Opportunities seem to appear naturally, and your path becomes clear. Albert Einstein did not rely on intellect alone. He spoke to inspire, maintained calm under criticism, used his resources with care, and kept his mind fixed on his vision. That is alignment in action. Alignment is not a one-time achievement, but a daily practice. Just as an instrument needs regular tuning, you must regularly ask, are my words building or breaking? Is my mood calm or reactive? Is my money under control or controlling me? Is my mind focused on strength or weakness? The more you practice this, the more effortless your life will feel. You will stop struggling against the current and begin moving with it, carried by momentum you have created. When your mouth speaks truth, your mood remains balanced, your money is guided by wisdom, and your mind stays disciplined. You become unstoppable, not because you are forcing progress, but because every part of you is moving in the same direction. Alignment is like the calibration of a telescope. Even the slightest shift in its angle can blur the view of distant galaxies. But when it is perfectly aligned, it can pierce the darkness of space to reveal hidden wonders. Your life works the same way. A misaligned word, mood, financial choice, or thought can cloud your vision. When all are in harmony, clarity becomes your natural state. There is no wasted movement when alignment is present. Every step is deliberate. Every action supports your purpose. Every decision strengthens your direction. Just as a scientist fine-tunes instruments to detect the faintest signals from the cosmos, you must fine-tune yourself daily. Aligning your mouth means your words carry the intention to build, not to wound. Aligning your mood means you choose calm even when surrounded by storms. Aligning your money means you invest in what lasts rather than what fades. Aligning your mind means you remain fixed on the horizon of your vision, even when distractions swirl around you. When these four align, life stops feeling like a struggle against the current. Instead, you begin to move with the current, using its power to carry you forward. But alignment is not the final destination. Alignment is the doorway to something even greater, self-command. And here lies the deeper truth. Self-command is not about controlling for the sake of control. It is about realizing that control is freedom. We live in a time where many define freedom as the ability to say, do, feel, or spend however they wish, in the moment. But that kind of freedom is an illusion, like a kite that believes it is free while floating in the wind until the wind changes. True freedom is the ability to guide yourself with precision toward a chosen goal, no matter how the winds blow. Just as science turns raw energy into usable power, your energy must be focused to become effective. Uncontrolled energy can destroy. Focused energy can light cities, drive engines, and send rockets into the stars. Without control, your words may burn bridges, your moods may derail progress, your money may slip away, and your mind may scatter in 1,000 directions. With control, all of these elements become a concentrated force capable of moving mountains. When this happens, your life is no longer a reaction to circumstances. It becomes a creation of your own design. You are no longer a passenger. You are the captain. When the mouth, mood, money, and mind work together in harmony, each part knows its role. Your words are thoughtful, not reckless. Your emotions are steady, not volatile. Your resources flow with intention, not waste. Your thoughts remain clear, not clouded. Think of a space mission. Hundreds of systems must align perfectly for a rocket to launch and reach its destination. In the same way, when these four forces in your life align, you waste no fuel. Every bit of your energy is directed toward your chosen purpose, but alignment alone is not enough. It must be paired with control. Even a perfectly aligned ship will drift if no one is steering. Alignment gives you strength. Control gives you direction. This is where the difference between wandering and arriving becomes clear. A beam of sunlight spread across a field is warm, but unfocused. Focus that light into a laser, and it can cut through steel. Without control, you are sunlight pleasant, but scattered. With control, you are the laser, precise and unstoppable. Control is not restriction, it is liberation. Without it, you are at the mercy of your impulses, emotions, and circumstances. With it, you can guide yourself exactly where you choose to go. Science teaches that even the most powerful forces require containment to be useful. Nuclear energy without containment is chaos. With containment, it powers cities. Electricity without circuits is dangerous. With circuits, it fuels innovation. Breath without control is just survival. Breath with control is power, as in martial arts. When you control your mouth, you free yourself from the weight of regret. When you control your mood, you free yourself from being manipulated by the world. When you control your money, you free yourself from financial chains. When you control your mind, you free yourself from fear. And when all four are in your command, no circumstance can take away your freedom. You are no longer pushed by the waves of chance. You choose your course and hold it steady. Alignment is the road. Control is the steering wheel. Together, they create mastery. Mastery is not perfection. It is the ability to choose your path and stay on it, even when challenges try to pull you away. It is the art of living not by accident but by design. The mountain is not conquered at the summit. It is conquered in each step you choose to take with intention. Control turns discipline into freedom, chaos into clarity, and potential into achievement. It is the ability to live with purpose, speak with impact, feel with awareness, spend with intention, and think with precision. The highest freedom is not doing whatever you want in the moment. It is having the strength to guide yourself toward what truly matters, regardless of the moment. The word freedom is often misunderstood. Many imagine it means the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want. But this is not freedom, it is chaos in disguise. Real freedom is the strength, discipline, and awareness to guide yourself toward your highest purpose, even when temptations and distractions surround you. Freedom is not about having no limits. It is about choosing the limits that protect what matters most. A river without banks spreads into a stagnant swamp, losing all momentum. A river with boundaries flows powerfully toward the sea. In the same way, control does not trap you. It channels your energy, so you move with purpose. Science shows this truth clearly. Raw energy is wild and unpredictable, often dangerous. Electricity uncontrolled can destroy. Contained and guided, it can light up a city, power life-saving machines, and launch technology into space. The energy does not change, only the control does. In your own life, your thoughts, emotions, and actions are raw energy. Without discipline, they scatter, leaving you tired but unfulfilled. With discipline, they transform into a focused force that shapes your reality. This is why control is not the enemy of freedom. It is its foundation. Without it, your potential remains untapped. With it, you can create the life you envision. Consider the astronauts who set foot on the moon. They did not arrive there by drifting aimlessly. Every calculation, every maneuver, every action was controlled with precision. Even the smallest miscalculation could have sent them into the vast emptiness of space. Your dreams are no different. They require precision to reach their destination. The journey to your goals will tempt you with detours. Without control, those detours become your path, and your vision fades into the distance. With control, you stay aligned, no matter how enticing the distractions. Control is not built in a day. It grows like a muscle, strengthened each time you resist an impulse that would pull you off course. Every time you choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure, you build trust in yourself. And with trust comes a deeper kind of freedom, the assurance that you will not betray your own goals under pressure. The world may provoke you, tempt you, or try to steer you elsewhere, but with control, you remain steady. This is the kind of freedom no one can give you, and no one can take from you. Guarding the four gates if you wish to live without being carried away by every change in the wind, you must guard for gates: your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. Guard your mouth, because every word you speak is a seed. Once planted, it will grow into peace or poison. Before speaking, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Doing so will save you and others from wounds that take years to heal. Guard your mood, because storms will always come, but you decide whether they will live inside you. Emotions are like waves. You cannot stop them from arriving, but you can choose which ones to ride. When anger rises, breathe before you act. When sadness visits, sit with it, but do not build your home there. Guard your money, because it is more than currency. It is stored time, stored energy, stored life. Spend with intention. Invest with wisdom. Let your resources serve your future rather than steal from it. Wealth without discipline becomes a burden. Discipline, even with little, becomes true wealth. Guard your mind, because it is the root from which all else grows. Do not feed it weeds of gossip, fear, or doubt. Water it with learning, gratitude, and vision. Whatever you hold in your mind consistently will shape your reality. Lose control of even one of these 4 gates, and the others will soon follow into disorder. But master them, and they will move together like the strings of an instrument, playing the music of your highest life. A living practice: speak less, but speak truth. Feel deeply, but respond wisely. Earn honestly, but spend mindfully. Think clearly and dream boldly. When you live this way, your actions, words, and thoughts form a steady rhythm that others can feel. You become a source of stability in a chaotic world, a blessing for your path. May your words become bridges, not weapons. May your emotions flow like rivers that nourish rather than floods that destroy. May your wealth be a tool for freedom, not chains that bind you. May your mind be a garden where only seeds of wisdom and peace grow. May your mouth speak only what heals. May your mood be the calm after every storm. May your money flow where it builds your future. May your mind remain a sanctuary no shadow can enter. Walk gently, speak wisely, and live freely. Let the music of your life be played on the 4 strings you now hold in your hands. When your mouth, mood, money, and mind follow the same truth, you stop chasing life, and life begins walking beside you. And may you wake each day with the courage to guide these 4 so your life becomes a living example for those who follow. Remember this: the one who controls themselves is never controlled by the world. In that mastery, you will find a freedom that no man can give you, and no man can take away. When you look at life through the lens of mastery, you begin to see that the greatest victories are not external, but internal. The world measures success in possessions, titles, and recognition, but the deepest form of success is the quiet certainty that you can trust yourself, trust your words, trust your emotions, trust your decisions with money, and trust your mind to stay steady in every season. This is why alignment and control are not simply habits. They are the foundation of self-respect. When your actions align with your principles, you no longer need external approval to feel secure. You stop measuring your worth by comparison and begin measuring it by consistency. The truth is, most people lose their battles before they even begin them, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack command over themselves. They are pulled into arguments they didn't need to have, emotional storms they didn't need to endure, purchases they didn't need to make, and mental clutter they didn't need to keep. But you have a different path. By guarding the four gates, you choose to live above impulse. You decide, moment by moment, to keep your inner compass steady, even when the outer world shakes. The discipline of daily tuning. A great musician does not tune their instrument once and expect it to stay perfect forever. They check it before every performance, adjusting even the smallest variations until each note is pure. In the same way, you must check your four gates daily. Ask yourself, did my words today build or break? Did my mood guide me or mislead me? Did my money flow toward my vision or away from it? Did my mind hold clarity or clutter? This is not self-criticism. It is self-honesty. And self-honesty is the doorway to self-mastery. Even the most disciplined person will sometimes slip. A string may loosen. A note may falter. The key is to retune immediately, rather than letting the discord spread. Momentum from mastery. When you live in alignment and maintain control, your life gains a unique kind of momentum. Opportunities begin to appear not because luck has changed, but because you are now ready to recognize and use them. The distractions that once stole your time lose their power because your attention is anchored. Your words begin to carry more weight because people can feel the truth behind them. Your mood becomes a source of stability for others, not just yourself. Your financial decisions compound into security and freedom. Your mind becomes a place where ideas can grow without being strangled by noise. And the best part? This momentum feeds itself. The more aligned you become, the easier it is to stay aligned. The more you control yourself, the less effort it takes to maintain that control. The ripple effect mastery is never just for you. Just as a well-played note can inspire an entire audience, your life in alignment inspires others without you even trying. A single conversation can spark someone else's courage to speak with honesty. A calm response in a heated situation can teach someone else the value of restraint. A wise investment can inspire another to think beyond instant gratification. You may never know the full extent of your influence, but influence is not measured by how loudly it is seen. It is measured by how deeply it is felt, beyond self-control. There will come a point when control no longer feels like effort. It will feel like second nature. At that stage, you will understand the real purpose of discipline. It is not to limit you, but to prepare you for a life without unnecessary limits. The martial artist trains for years, not just to defend themselves, but so they can walk through life in peace, knowing they are capable. The same is true here. You guard your words so you can speak without fear. You guard your mood so you can feel without being lost. You guard your money so you can give and invest freely. You guard your mind so you can dream without confusion. This is the paradox. The more disciplined you become, the freer you feel. Your personal legacy in the end. Every life tells a story. Some stories are scattered, chapters of good intentions undone by lack of control. Others are harmonious, every page reflecting intention, clarity, and purpose. Your words, moods, financial choices, and thoughts are the pen with which you write your own story. And if you guard these four with wisdom, the story you leave behind will be one worth rereading. Legacy is not built in a single act, but in the repetition of aligned acts over time. It is in the consistent choice to pause before speaking, to breathe before reacting, to think before spending, and to reflect before accepting every thought as truth. Walking forward, so as you move from this moment into the rest of your life, carry this understanding. You are always tuning your instrument. The music you produce, whether harmony or noise, is shaped by your daily decisions. When you guard your mouth, you choose the language of creation. When you guard your mood, you choose the stability of a steady course. When you guard your money, you choose the architecture of your future. When you guard your mind, you choose the quality of every thought you will ever have. These choices, repeated with intention, will carry you further than talent alone, further than luck, and further than any single breakthrough, because mastery is not a single moment of triumph. It is the rhythm of discipline lived out over time. Final blessing, may your alignment be steady and your control unshakable. May your words open doors to peace and your mood be the calm in every storm. May your resources multiply through wisdom and your mind remain a place where clarity lives and fear finds no home. And may you walk each day, not as a passenger of circumstance, but as the captain of your own vessel, charting a course with precision and purpose. This is the path of true freedom, the freedom to live by design, not by default.